Welcome to the Community Difference Frisco, powered by the Difference Media LLC, and hosted by Brian Poduska with Real Property Management Focus, and also sponsored by Paul Fisher with Certainty Home Lending, Bethany Rowan with the B. Rowan Realty Group, Jacqueline Kreider with PBJ Mortgage, Tracy Churchman with Best Buddies, Debbie Watson with Team Watson Redeemers,
Ethan Donovan with the Donovan Creative Agency, Meena Singh, college counselor and prep coach, and by Lauren Gill with My Live, Love, Travel.
The Community Difference Frisco was created to serve as a platform for local leaders and business professionals to showcase their expertise, values, and commitment to their community. Overall, the podcast aims to create a stronger sense of community in North Texas by highlighting the often overlooked or unnoticed good work being done by local leaders, businesses, and professionals. So sit back and relax as our host, co-host, and their guests share inspirational stories, experiences, thoughts, and insights about being a professional, along with the opportunities for our businesses to serve our communities in very special ways. Because the Community Difference Frisco starts now.
Well, good afternoon, Frisco, and welcome to the Community Difference Frisco. We're a podcast firmly rooted at the intersection of business development and community involvement. I'm your host, Brian Poduska. I'm the owner of Real Property Management Focus right here in Frisco, Texas, where we focus on your real estate investments. And those investments are single-family residential homes and small commercial properties. And we are here to help you manage those properties. If you have not seen our show before, you are watching episode number 50. It's been a great year so far. We are on episode number 50, nearing the end of the year. And if you haven't seen the show before, we're a community-based podcast. We put the spotlight on 5 different type of key members of our community. So those would be business owners, entrepreneurs, community leaders, so political leaders and committee members, things like that, Frisco ISD leadership, nonprofit leadership, and sports leadership. We are Sports City USA after all, and so we have quite a few sports leaders that come on to the show as well, given that a few of our sponsors are sports teams, i.e. the Frisco Rough Riders, Frisco Fighters have been a sponsor as well. So that is who we put the spotlight on. We also have a rotating business topic of the month. We are in a new month, so welcome to December and happy holidays. December's business topic is transforming the sales cycle, leveraging social platforms to establish the know, like, and trust component of rapport building. So we will dive into that a little bit later in the show with our guests. We also have rotating co-hosts every week. We have a little bit of a shakeup because we are in the month of December. And so our co-hosts today are Debbie Watson and Bethany Rowan. Look forward to seeing them. Debbie, how are you today? You're on mute, by the way. And by the way, we are also a live show, so you're going to notice that we may have technical difficulties here or there. We may trip over our words, but that's part of the joy, is that we're an authentic, having a conversation type show. So Debbie, how are you today?
I am great, Brian. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, I love your holiday decor and holiday outfit there. So
it is the season.
That's right. Well, please do this. Remind the audience who you are, what you do, and then also introduce your guest for today.
That'd be great. Hi, I'm Debbie Watson with Team Watson Redeemers, where I'm passionate about helping our community foster financial literacy through education and personalized solutions. Our mission is to empower individuals and families to take control of their finances, break free from financial struggles, and achieve lasting freedom and stability. It's incredibly rewarding to see how financial confidence can transform lives in strengthening the bonds within our community. Today, I am thrilled to introduce my guest, Kimberly Evans, who is the founder of the Purpose Consulting LLC, a full-service financial service and business consulting firm serving individuals, families, and business owners with financial education and personalized financial and business services. She's deeply connected in our community, working tirelessly on incentives like serving on the Frisco Economic Development Corporation as a board member that fosters growth and support to our community. What sets Kimberly apart from her ability to empower others through numerous leadership roles as co-founder of the Wealth Table, co-founder of the Black African American Collaboration, and Frisco Diversity Leadership Council board member, just to name a few. She had a bunch of all other leadership accolades, but just to name a few. It's my honor to have her share her insights with us today. So welcome, Kimberly.
Thank you. And thank you for having me.
Yeah, Kimberly, great to see you today. Thanks for being on the show. Since you are so ingrained in the Frisco community, what is your favorite part of Frisco?
So it's funny that you asked me this question because I get this question a lot. And I think my favorite thing about Frisco is that we all belong here and we have a culture and a community that wants to support each and every one of us, even if we're all completely different. And so I think my favorite thing would be that if you want to be involved in Frisco, if you want to serve in Frisco, if you want to grow, mature, raise a family in Frisco, we're going to cater to all of that. Frisco is known for saying we live, work, and play here. And I think that's one of my favorite things about the city.
That's awesome. I love that answer. And you're absolutely right. There's no shortage of things to do here. And absolutely everyone does belong here. Great answer. Love that. All right. Well, Kimberly, we're going to dive a little bit into, your why and your path a little bit later in the show. So pleasure to have you on today. With that, let's transition over to Bethany and bring Bethany on.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm, finally, I think slightly dug out from all the pile up from Thanksgiving break. So,
okay. Well, you just wait for a couple more weeks to happen, and there's every event, party, something you should be at. You're probably supposed to be at something right now, and you're just forgetting that
this is where I need to be, Bethany, right
exactly.
here.
Right. So I am a regular co-host on this week. So I'm thrilled to be here, and I'm so excited that Debbie is here with me today. She is like a superstar in the community difference. So excited to have her. And I am thrilled to be a part of the Frisco community. Before going into real estate 10 years ago, I served as principal in Frisco ISD and spent 22 years in education as a teacher and a leader and administrator, and just loved that career before I decided to transition into real estate, which I have been doing now for 10 years successfully. And I say it's like dealing with two different commodities, people's kids and people's finances. So it's two really big things in their life. And so I feel honored to be able to help people with that.
Awesome. Well, it's great to see you again, Bethany. Please do me a favor, introduce your guest as well.
I am so excited. Amy Tyson is a friend of mine, but she is first and foremost a mom. She is a certified divorce coach, and she is an author. And when I met Amy for the first time, I was nothing but enthralled by her ability to just communicate with people and connect with people, and how vivacious she is about what she wants to do to help people be successful through the process of divorce and helping kids go through that as well. And so I am thrilled to have Amy Tyson here with me today.
Well, Amy, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. Great to see you. One question for you. What are you most excited about getting out of the show today?
Well, I love connecting with other individuals. I don't meet a stranger, and I enjoy hearing people's stories, where they've been and where they want to go. And then also if there's any way I can help them in their journey.
Awesome. Great answer. And we are going to get into all of that. So you chose correctly. You chose the right show. Awesome. Well, it's great to see everybody today. We're going to take our first commercial break, and then we're going to come out of that and talk about what's going on in Frisco. So hang on tight, and we'll be right back.
The Community Difference Frisco is made possible by Brian Poduska with Real Property Management Focus, Paul Fisher with Certainty Home Lending, Bethany Rowan with the Beer Rowan Realty Group, Tracy Churchman with Best Buddies, Jacqueline Kreider with PBJ Mortgage, Debbie Watson with Team Watson Redeemers, Ethan Donovan with the Donovan Creative Agency, Meena Singh, college counselor and prep coach, and by Lauren Gill with My Live, Love, Travel. The Community Difference Frisco. Together, we can make the difference. And now, back to the show.
Are you ready?
Because it's time for
What's Up Frisco?
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the segment of the show where we talk about what's going on in Frisco. And what I mean by that is, some of the bigger items, of course, we'll talk a little bit about, but we're talking about, fundraisers that may not hit the main searches that you may do on what's going on in Frisco, job postings, any job availability or needs out there. Like I said, fundraisers, networking events, things like that. So we're going to go around the horn and talk about what's going on in Frisco. Nathan is producing here. That's who I'm referring to. Nathan, who are we starting with?
Debbie.
All right, Debbie's up first.
Great. So lots of things always going in Frisco. One of the things that I don't have a slide for is I always love to promote the Kaleidoscope Park. This park is gorgeous. I've had 2 friends come into town, and that's the first place I have to take them, and they just all loved it. So they will be having Santa Claus next week. It was actually supposed to be this Saturday, but because of the weather, they're having Santa next week, and that will be from 2 to 4 o'clock at the park. So you'll be able to take pictures with Santa. They already have the sleigh out there, but he'll be right by the tree. So then we also have a last minute market. There we go, the last minute market. So this is going to be in the Frisco. That's the market there. So this is Saturday, December 21st from 8 to 4. And then also Sunday, the next day from 10 to 4. So lots of fun things. There's going to be holiday cookie market. There's going to be Frosty the Snowman, all sorts of vendors, face painting. So great activity. And then I just wanted to recognize we have a new store that's opening, a grand opening for in the Lexington Village, the Chai Time. So you're going to get free drinks if you come out this weekend from the 7th from 8 to 12. So both days come out. You can get some free stuff and check out a new place opening up in Frisco. So that's all I have. And I think Kimberly is up next.
Yeah, so I have a couple of things, and these are, Brian, I love that you said some things that are probably not mainstream, because things sometimes there is a lot going on in Frisco. So the first thing I want to point out is on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, December the 10th, there will be a Kwanzaa celebration, and we are going to be at Verona Villa, and it'll start at 6:30. You will have an opportunity to learn about Kwanzaa and why it's so important in the community, but you'll also have an opportunity to see some dancers and see a fashion show and things like that. So again, on Tuesday, December the 10th at 6:30. Then on Tuesday, December the 11th, on Wednesday, December the 11th, we are going to have what we call Wine, Women, and Wealth Frisco. And what's interesting about this event, it is a women-focused networking event that happens in Frisco every single month, but it's hosted at our only women-owned co-working space in Frisco as well, called the Sweet Space. So you'll get the 2 benefits of both of those, and that also starts at 6:30. On Wednesday, we will do a version of Wine, Women, and Wealth. That is an online version, so you can join that. And then the other event I wanted to point out is a Money 101 event. We offer free educational workshops for people in Frisco. We spend a lot of time with business owners about their businesses, because whether you know it or not, we have a lot of business owners in Frisco. So that is on Monday, December the 16th at 6:30. You notice the theme here, everything starts at 6:30. It's just so I can remember it, that's why. The Legends are also hosting HBCU night on January the 6th. So Kevin Westerfield and the Legends sports team will be hosting an HBCU event in January the 6th at 3:30 p.m. at the Comerica Center. So those are just the events that are coming up. That's just in the next 30 days. So I think we already talked about how many things are going on. So those are things I wanted to highlight.
Well, that's awesome. And that's, you highlighted a few of our partners that we've either had on the show or before with Kevin Westerfield. He's been on the show before, and Jason Young, who owns Verona Villa. So those are great highlights. Thank you for bringing those to the audience's attention. All right, Bethany, I think you're up next.
I think I am. Absolutely. So Frisco is just an amazing community to live in, obviously during the holidays, but I wanted to highlight some fun stuff that's happening at PGA on Friday night. They actually have a market going on that's going to highlight 40 local vendors for shopping. Their goal is to really partner with local vendors, and they're going to be doing that on Friday night. The first 100 people get a free shopping bag. You can stroll around. I've already looked at the weather. It's going to be great. So I definitely think hitting that for some local vendor support would be awesome. And then obviously my background in education, and there's the graphic for that there that gives you December 6th. It's 5 to 8. It's free entry. It's going to be a great time. And again, we're super lucky about the weather right now. Like it's beautiful. It's like enough to be chilly, but not uncomfortable, right? So that's fun. And then coming from education, Mary Main Street has been ingrained in me because I took so many choirs to Mary Main Street every single year. And this is such a fun event. The kids are so excited. You're talking about from 3 o'clock to 6:30. There's going to be so much going on. Santa will be there. There'll be a ice skating rink. And then every single elementary choir will be singing on a stage. And so parents will be there, so proud of their kiddos, but also just excited to have the spirit of the season with everyone that's there. And you're going to see so many unique things happening with each of the different choirs. I love highlighting the elementary choirs because I know those teachers work so hard with the kids, and this is their time to shine. So lots of fun things going out on Saturday night as well at Mary Main Street.
Yeah, thanks, Bethany. My kiddos were part of those choirs that went through.
Yeah, mine
so
too.
I love those events. It stirs up some fun memories of
Absolutely.
them. That's awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that. All right, Nathan, what you got for me? All right, so what we do on this program, we like to highlight what's going on in downtown Frisco. If you've been to downtown Frisco, you know it's under construction. So as much support as we can give to those downtown businesses, we will. One of those downtown businesses is the Knack Theater. It's a cozy little theater right there, just east of the train tracks in downtown Frisco. Awesome environment. It's about 200, a theater that seats about 200 people. So January 10th, we've got a country music show coming to town. Mr. Justin, Justin Till, there it is. So that is coming Friday, January 10th at 8 p.m. Come on out for that. And then this is an annual event. We are on now season 4. This is awesome. It's Frisco's Got Talent. So obviously it's a play on America's Got Talent. Bring out your kiddos, your adults. Everybody's welcome. Come on out. You can see all the details there. I won't go through all of that, but it's coming up in February. So look it up online. Go out to Facebook. Google it, YouTube it. On ways to sign up for this. It's an awesome event. It's super fun every year. It's judged by local, what I'll call celebrities, right? We've got Crystal Howard from the Frisco Chamber. She's the CEO of the Frisco Chamber. And we got some local business owners that are also judging the contest. So come on out for that. Get your kiddos involved. Get yourself involved. It's a fun, awesome event. All right. We've also been highlighting this. It's the Frisco ISD Business Incubator Program. Super unique. It's awesome. It's at about 5 different Frisco ISD high schools. Currently, they're looking to roll it out to more. And in order to do that, they need volunteers. So if you're a local business owner or a business person looking to make an impact on the youth, basically what this is, it's a Shark Tank for high school students. Think of it like that, right? So These
That's
high
fun.
school students sign up for a course. They get to create a project or a product or a service, and then present it to a board of directors, kind of like in Shark Tank, where they can advance on to a national competition. So very unique to the Frisco ISD system. Super awesome program, but they need volunteers. So you saw Ashley's name on that graphic. Reach out to her if you have the time to volunteer, either as a coach, a mentor, or even be on the board of directors, to be a shark, if you will. All right, what else we got? Okay, so this is an upcoming survey. It's out there now. It's up on December 14th. It is the City of Frisco Community Development Division survey. So essentially what this is, guys, it's a survey, and it's taking the public opinion and thoughts on addressing the needs related to housing, economic and community development, and homelessness here in Frisco. Believe it or not, there is a significant homelessness population or near homeless in Frisco. So answers are confidential. Please weigh into that survey. The website is right there, friscotexas.gov/CDBG. So do that before December 14th. Let your opinion be heard. Nathan, do I have anything else? I think that might be it for me. Oh, one more thing. Yes, I wanted to mention one of our co-hosts, Jacqueline Kreider, has written a book. This was launched right before, I think it was on Black Friday, actually, Mortgage 101. And as you can see, the peanut butter, her company's name is PBJ Mortgage. You can see the peanut butter going over the house. Awesome little graphic there on the cover of the book. If you want to know anything about mortgage, from an elementary level to those of us who have been in real estate, Bethany, myself, you can definitely learn by reading this book. So please check that out. Miss Jacqueline Kreider, one of our co-hosts, check out that book. Just launched on Black Friday. All right, I think that's it for me. Amy, I think you have one thing you wanted to highlight. Let's do that now.
Yes, well, obviously there's never a dull day in Frisco, but I'm going to bring us closer to Christmas. And if you are looking for an amazing candlelight service, Fellowship Church, the Frisco location, has multiple candlelight services beginning on December the 18th. They have another service on December the 22nd, and then on Christmas Eve, December 24th. Very special and unforgettable at Fellowship Church.
Awesome. Love it. Well, let's check that out. And with that, guys, I appreciate all of those events, all those highlights. Like you said, Amy, there is never a dull moment in Frisco. There's lots going on, especially during the holidays. So get out there, enjoy that weather. Little side note, Bethany, you mentioned the great weather. Last Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, it was 83 degrees. I took that opportunity to go out to the PGA Frisco.
Nice.
And played one of the courses there. Let's just say it kicked my rear end, but it was a great time. Great venue. I'm thankful that I got to go out there and do that.
Love it.
All right. With that, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about the business topic of the month. Again, new week, new month, new business topic, and that is transforming the sales cycle, leveraging social platforms to establish the know, like, and trust component of building rapport. So with that, we'll be right back. Take us away, Nathan.
And now a word from a few of our amazing sponsors that make the Difference Radio, live stream, and podcast network possible.
Total Care Emergency Room now has 9 locations in the DFW Metroplex. With no appointment needed, our incredible staff will get you checked in with no wait times. Our 5-star facility is open and fully staffed 24/7. We offer extensive treatment options for patients of all ages, providing on-site labs and imaging equipment, including CT, X-ray, and ultrasound, allowing us to provide fast, convenient care for our community. Total Care ER is your neighborhood emergency room. TotalCare.us.
Unwanted pests in your home can be stressful. From creepy crawlies to critters under the floorboards, they disrupt your peace of mind. But don't worry. All Pest Solutions is here to help. We offer a comprehensive range of safe and effective pest control solutions. We target all types of pests, big or small, including insects, rodents, and wildlife. All Pest Solutions, your local experts for a pest-free home. Breathe easy and enjoy your life again. Call today for a free quote. 972-442-1169 or email us at customerservice@allpestsolutions.com.
To belong is one of our most basic human needs.
Best Buddies International is the world's largest organization dedicated to ending the social isolation of 200 million individuals who have intellectual and developmental disabilities. We focus on meaningful one-to-one friendships, integrated employment, leadership development, and inclusive living. You have the power to make an impact, create change, and champion our mission of inclusion today.
We are Cloud Staff, enabling remarkable growth for businesses everywhere with our pioneering enterprise-grade remote work solutions. We are on a mission to help business owners scale while reducing costs by matching you with an amazing staff, mobilizing your team, and helping manage business performance, making us the #1 workplace as remote work gets done. Connect with us to access the world's top talent and discover how we can enable remarkable growth for your business.
And now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back. So what we do every month is we talk about a different business topic that's relative or relevant to local business owners, entrepreneurs, community leaders, things like that. I love it because we get into a different topic every month and we get to dive deep. And I get the joy of being on all 4 weeks. So I get the insights times 4, essentially, and actually times more than that, because I get at least 6 people every week to weigh in on this topic. So I love it because I learn a ton as I get to host the show and learn these insights from you guys. I have my own thoughts, but I tell you what, they've been expanded immensely as I've gone through this year and learned about your guys' insights on these business topics. So new month, new topic, and that is transforming the sales cycle, leveraging social platforms to establish the know, like, and trust component of building rapport. I love this one because it's kind of a foundational thing of what the difference is all about. That's essentially what we're doing on a weekly basis. And we're utilizing multiple different platforms and doing it while meeting local community leaders, right? So it's kind of this awesome ball of awesomeness all rolled into one, right? So I'll kind of kick off the conversation and then I'll let Debbie and Bethany kind of roll with it. But I guess what is the one biggest benefit of leveraging the social media platforms as it relates to the sales cycle? And sales cycle can be completely different for completely different businesses, right? Some are instant or close to it, very transactional. Others are very much more relational and relationship based. Obviously, Bethany, you're in real estate. I'm in real estate. It is a transaction, but it's usually a long, long way in the making, right? So I'll kind of throw it out to the group just real quickly. What is the biggest benefit of leveraging the social media platform as it relates to your specific sales cycle?
I'll go ahead.
Go ahead.
I love on somebody if you did.
I know I don't want to jump in, but I want to share. For me, leveraging social media has really expanded my relationship building. And, Brian, you said that our business is transactional, but really our business is relational. And for someone to really get to know me outside of a referral-based situation is going to take time. And so that might look like someone asking a question on a social media page, let's say Frisco Women, for example. That's one of the pages I'm a part of. And hey, I'm thinking about selling my house, but I'm not sure where to start. So that's where that conversation can begin. Just starting to talk a little bit about that process without coming across as salesy, but really coming across as from a supportive standpoint. I'm really, my genuine interest in being part of groups with women specifically is the intent to help people be successful in the home buying process. And there are so many aspects to that it does take time, and it takes a relationship for people to trust me. Because like I said before, this is a big commodity. It's not their kids, but it's the next biggest thing in their life.
Yep. And along with what even Bethany was saying, I think building even those relationships that they know, that others know, that they can trust you, and then they start referring you. I mean, I have people that are referring me that I don't really even know, but it was because someone did refer. I'd had a conversation with them. I wasn't the right person for them, but I knew someone in my atmosphere around me that I could refer. And so even though I couldn't help them at the time, I referred them to someone else that could. So again, now they are now, oh, well, Debbie might can help you because of this, and or she knows someone. So I think the biggest thing with social media is you have to be relationship more, because no one wants a pushy salesperson. They don't want a car salesman. They want to build relationships. And if you're helping to educate and you're helping to just answer their questions, it's going to be so much more gratifying.
Yeah, for sure. And Kimberly, I'd like to get your thoughts on this one. You know, given your multiple different things that you're involved in, right? So how do you utilize and leverage social media, you know, from a sales cycle perspective, but also just awareness, right? Because I think that's an underlying basis of social media, is awareness. But how specifically have you utilized it across your multiple things that you do?
And so thank you for asking me to kind of comment on this, because I do participate in a lot of things in our city and a lot of different things that don't necessarily connect. So I want to back up just real quickly, because I know all of us have heard people say, I don't like social media, right? They don't want to do it. I don't like it. I don't know how to do it, all these kind of things. And I tell people all the time, at this day and time, it doesn't matter whether you like it or not, right? You just have to do it. It's just part of running a business. And so it's really part of your branding and your marketing. And I think one of the things that I love to leverage about social media is because now with so much going out, you see a lot of people's highlight reels. Social media allows me to give people my authentic self. It allows me to say, yeah, I have a highlight reel, but I also have all this other stuff. This is who I am. This is what we're about. These are the things that are important to me. These are the things that might connect to you. And because of what I teach and how I consult, I want everybody that I know, love, and care about, and everybody they know, love, and care about, to have this information. And social media gives me an expanded reach that I cannot personally do myself. So it allows me to then not only tell the people that touch me, but the people that I touch to tell the people that they touch, to tell the people that they touch. And now you have this connectivity that you may not have had otherwise. And I think that's the beautiful thing for my business. But for our community, what it allows me to do is to share things that people in my circle may not necessarily be connected to, but should still know, and vice versa. And so when you get that sharing part of social media and you get that connectivity that you would not otherwise have, because not everybody's reading the newspaper, everybody's watching the news, or whatever the case may be. Now you've got multiple channels to reach people. And this is something that's really, really helpful. And it allows you then to learn some things that you may not have known otherwise either, because that connectivity goes both ways. So that would be the summary of what I would say about it.
Yeah, I like that. And with, you know, I raised my hand when you said, you know, there's a lot of people that don't like social media or aren't good at it or whatever. I certainly qualify for that. And there's the, you know, there's the dark side of social media. And I like what you talked about. It's kind of the bright side of social media, the connectivity part, the informational sharing within the community, especially. So that is what I'll call the good side of social media, not the dark side, to draw the Star Wars analogy. But yeah, Debbie, Bethany, I think you guys had a question.
Yeah, Kimberly, just to dive a little bit deeper into what you just said, you know, how do you approach recognizing and celebrating the contributions of others in the community in a way that feels genuine? And what impact have you seen this having built loyalty and trust within your network?
So I think oftentimes one of the things we get caught up in social media is that we're so worried about our own content that we forget about other people's content. And one of the most powerful tools social media gives you is it gives you an opportunity to highlight someone else and support them. And by doing that, people also then see how you care about other initiatives or other platforms or other businesses that have absolutely nothing to do with your business. And I'll use our local elections or our school boards or people that are into education, right? I'm not into education in that same sense, but over the course of the last few years, I have met people that are so into education that now I love education, even though I don't work in education. And so you can create that kind of bond between people and platforms and some of these initiatives. Like even the initiatives of, I think we brought it up about homeless people or children going hungry, right? You can learn about Frisco Fast Packs, and you can learn about some of the other nonprofits we have going on. And all of that then allows you to be a community leader in your community, even if it's not something that has to do with your specific business. By doing that, people see that you're a human being. People see that you care about other people and what they're doing. And now they feel like they can say, hey, Kimberly, can I ask you a question? Or, hey, Kimberly, do you know somebody that does this? Because I see you know a whole lot of people, or you're connected to the school board, for example. How do I get a question answered that I have about school? All of those kind of things is really what kind of leads social media to being a platform where you get to serve other people without feeling like you have to be self-serving all the time. And sometimes that information is not even about you, but it's information the community needs. And it just makes you a better community partner and a better business leader in the community.
Well said. And that's, that's essentially the foundation of what we're trying to accomplish here at The Difference, right? The community difference. So I love that insight, and that's 100% spot on. Bethany, I'm going to kick it over to you. I think you were going to take the next question.
I am absolutely excited about being a part of this because I'm always on the first week of the month. And so I love hearing insight from everybody because we're kind of the ones that set the bar. And I think we're doing an amazing job setting the bar.
When you set the bar way up here, you got to jump over it, right?
What we do here at The Difference. So I love that. And Amy, I wanted to ask you a question. How do you use social media to leverage yourself in groups and to kind of continue that sales cycle and working with people in that way?
Absolutely. It's a great question. Well, I'm obviously in a ton of women's groups and mom groups. I'm very active on LinkedIn. But I think, first of all, at least for me and what I do in my profession as a divorce and co-parenting coach and author, it is extremely relationship based. And so I always strive to come across very genuine in my posts and in my responses to people. And I believe with all my heart, there's a lot of people suffering in silence. So the more genuine you are in your approach to people, in both your replies to somebody's post and in your advertising, the more likely they're going to be receptive to listening to you and your referrals. And so I think that it's very important to be active on social media, but active in the right way. And I've also found it very helpful just in my own life is when I'm out in the community, whether I'm volunteering or it's a law firm that has purchased my products, I take pictures and I give credit to those organizations. So people know, hey, this is a great law firm, or hey, this is a great organization to support. So
awesome.
Love that. And I'm sorry, Bethany, go ahead. I didn't want to interrupt.
I was just going to say that Amy talks a lot about working with women, but ultimately in the divorce process, there are males and females involved in that. Yeah. And through that process, how do you find yourself just going a little bit deeper, being able to relate to men? Because men are going to be a little bit more apprehensive. No offense, Brian.
I'm way outnumbered today. So
yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, just men are going to be more apprehensive, but they're still part of that process and they love their kids. They want to co-parent properly. What does that look like?
Absolutely. And that is a fantastic question. I recently did a whole TikTok on, dads and helping them. So a former single mom, twice divorced. I have 3 daughters, and I can tell you, not just from my experience as being a former single mother, but as being a former educator. And I've seen the effect of divorce. I know the importance of having both parents present in their children's lives. Healthy parents, a mom and a dad. And I don't believe that a mom's more important than a dad, regardless of the gender of the children. And so when it comes to dads, I found that it's really helpful and reassuring them of their role. And maybe they've been unplugged for whatever reason. Either A, they were so career focused, or maybe they have been unplugged due to depression and anxiety, and helping them to figure out ways to communicate in healthy manners with their children and their co-parent, and different bonding activities. So yeah, I'm passionate about helping men and women. I just can't be on the men's groups on social media. So that's the only reason I don't get to promote on those. I'm not on them. So
we'll have to. I don't think I'm a part of any men's group on Facebook or social media. But we can invite you as a special guest, I guess.
Oh, yes, let's do that. That'd be great.
There we go. Awesome. Well, guys, what I've heard in a lot of the shares that you guys have done is, how you use social media is super impactful, right? Not the salesy social media, but uplifting others. I heard that theme throughout both of your guys' viewpoints. Let me bring it back to the business topic, being the first part of the business topic being the sales cycle, right? So as we focus it on our businesses and the social media activities that you guys personally do, what is the key benefit that you've done or that you've seen in your social media practices that benefit the sales cycle? And I'm kind of teeing this one up because I think it's a one-word answer. And I'll ask it this way. Does it make it faster or slower?
Faster.
Faster.
Oh.
Faster.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
I'll tell you why. This is what ends up happening is when I finally sit down and talk to somebody, people say they feel like they know me already.
100%.
And that is the biggest compliment I can get. And the authenticity of it, when they see me, I look like what they saw on social media, right? Because they're expecting, other than they think I'm taller than I am. That's generally the only conversation I get. People think I'm taller than I am. But I think it's so important because I've done enough and I've communicated with them. If they've asked a question, I've answered it. I've DM'd them. I have built a relationship with them where they feel like when they're finally talking to me to go through whatever question or challenges they're facing in their business, in their personal finances, in their strategy for what they're trying to accomplish, all of those things, they feel comfortable to tell me what all that is because of the presence I've had on social media. So it makes it extremely faster because now I'm not having to do that introduction. So when you use it properly and effectively and authentically, it's going to allow your sales cycle to speed up, but it's also going to increase your reach for your sales cycle. Right. So it becomes an automatic funnel for you without you necessarily having to go find all of these people yourself. They're finding you because you're participating in a group they're in. They're finding you because you highlighted something they're interested in. And so that makes that process more far reaching. Because again, you can't be everywhere all the time doing everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, and to your point, I even think I've noticed now that even people want to introduce you to people. It's like I was with someone the other day. Oh, you have to meet so-and-so, because I'm sure they would be perfect to talk with. So you get that feeling and people follow and understand you. And now they want to even introduce you to more people. So I totally agree with that.
Yeah. Love that. And Kimberly, you hit on a lot of the things that we've talked about in the past on the show. It absolutely does speed up the sales cycle. It absolutely, I've heard that same comment that I feel like I know you. Right?
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to overcome that challenge of, gosh, I thought you were taller, or gosh, I thought you were shorter. Like I get the old, because I'm 6'5", somebody's like, God, I didn't know you were so tall. I can't communicate my height through, but it's a lot easier to be like, yep, that's me. And then you move on, right? Like it's those hurdles are not really hurdles. They're just conversations, right? Whereas, the old sales cycle pre social media, or if you're not participating in social media, you have to go through that whole introductory process and it can be, that in and of itself takes time. Right. So yeah, you absolutely hit the nail on the head there. Amy, what are your thoughts on the sales cycle impact and utilizing social media properly to generate that know, like, and trust factor?
Yeah, that is immediately when I was even in the process of publishing my first book, I immediately started getting it out all over social media. And then anytime I was going to meet with a law firm, I would do a post before I met, and then at the law firm with the attorneys once they purchased books. And so then it was a ripple effect because then other law firms were more likely to meet with me and then carry my resources, right? Because they were like, oh, well, maybe this is a good product because she's out in the community and she's showing all these other law firms that she's with. And it gives you, I want to say, some genuine credibility, right? It's not so commercialized. And I was always very transparent. I was, at the time, my tagline was single mom on a mission. And so it wasn't just about trying to make money for me. It was truly a work from my heart to help others.
Well, I love that. And so we've got about a minute to break. Do you guys have a personal example? I guess, Kimberly, you mentioned it, like people saying that I feel like I already know you. Do you guys have a specific example in 1 minute or less that you've personally seen that social media impact speed up that sales cycle so quickly that, you almost had a deal done right there?
I can share one really quickly. Is I have a client right now that somebody asked a question in a social media group. I answered the question. The person that actually asked the question, her friend had that same question. And so she sent her friend to me because she said I answered her question on the Facebook page. And then her friend called me, and then we actually ended up doing business so that I could take care of what she was working on. And I hadn't even met her yet. So I think the key to this is really understanding when people say your name in rooms you're not in, when people are mentioning your name in conversations you're not in. And I get quite a few clients like that all the time. It's somebody else telling them,
Right.
and then they just get on my calendar and schedule an appointment.
Right. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love it. Yeah. Deal done. Who knew
Deal done.
you get a deal done just like that. Awesome. Well, guys, this has been awesome insights. You guys nailed the topic on the head because, you've actually mentioned a lot of the previous business topics we've had in answering this one. So we really appreciate your insights on the topic. With that, we'll kind of wrap up the business topic portion of the show. I'm excited because that means we're going into the next segment, which is deep diving into you guys as our guests. So stay tuned. We'll be right back after this commercial break, and then we'll get into that.
And now a word from a few of our amazing sponsors that make the Difference Radio, live stream, and podcast network possible. At Fireboss Realty, we believe life is about relationships, and everything else is just details. Whether you're buying or selling, Scott and Amy Johnson are here to understand your family's unique needs and deliver expert guidance on the North Texas real estate market. With a reputation for integrity and personalized service, Fireboss Realty makes your home journey stress-free and successful. Ready to make your move? Visit firebossrealty.com and let's ignite your real estate dreams.
Everyone deserves access to affordable health insurance, but with traditional insurance, costs can be high and getting coverage can be complicated. JP Direct Health is a simpler, more affordable way to get the health coverage you need. With plans for individuals, families, and small businesses, you can save money on monthly premiums without the need for physicals. At jpdirecthealth.com, we specialize in customizing coverage to fit almost every budget with affordable PPO plans and many other benefits. With over 100 5-star Google reviews, JP Direct Health is a trusted resource making health insurance affordable and accessible for everyone year-round. Affordable health insurance solutions are a proactive protection, not a reactive solution. Visit jpdirecthealth.com today and see how much you can save.
I'm always here to help. Thank you.
Are you or someone you know pregnant or planning to conceive? Caitlin Smith is both a certified childbirth doula and instructor offering childbirth classes to couples wanting an unmedicated, physiological birth outside of the hospital setting. Caitlin has served the local community since 2021 and specializes in working closely with midwives, all while best supporting a mother's physical body, her partner, and the birth environment. You can contact Caitlin through Instagram at thismamadoula or email her at caitlinsmithdoula@gmail.com to learn more about childbirth classes or her doula services.
Are you looking to buy a home? The process can be daunting, but it doesn't have to be. With the help of a qualified loan officer like Paul Fisher, you can get the financing you need and get into your dream home. Paul Fisher, a direct local lender with Certainty Home Lending, has many years of experience helping people buy homes. He's knowledgeable, experienced, and he'll work with you to find the best loan for your needs. Contact Paul Fisher today to get started on your home buying journey. He'll help you every step of the way, so you can relax and focus on finding your dream home. Visit www.loansbyfisher.com or call 817-308-7361 to schedule a consultation with Paul. MLS number 2018111.
Now back to the show.
All right, welcome back to the show. And this is the segment where we get to learn about our guests and put the spotlight on them. And I love this section because I get to meet so many intriguing and awesome people through hosting the show. So with that, let's turn the spotlight onto our guests. And Kimberly, we're going to start with you. Obviously, you're involved in so many different things in the community. Tell me how you got to be so involved in the community, and what drives that in you to get involved, and what drove you to, get into the consulting business, the financial consulting side of it. What's your why there, and what drives you to stay involved in the community?
Sure. So most of you don't know this about me. Some of you know me closely. Debbie knows this, but I'm an attorney with an MBA. And I spent 25 years in corporate America in the financial services field. And in 2015, I had the opportunity to attend an event where I heard two things that I had never heard before. And I had been in the industry for 25 years at that point in time. So I was a little rattled by that. But prior to that time, I understand Wall Street like the back of my hand. I understand DC and the Department of Treasury. I was at Fannie Mae during our foreclosure crisis and the recession. And so I know all of these things, but I was volunteering for a faith-based nonprofit at the time and discovered that what we all knew at the corporate level and in DC and in Wall Street, et cetera, nobody in the community had any idea what was going on. And there was this huge gap. And for some reason that annoyed me. I don't know why it frustrated me so badly, but it just frustrated me to the point where, how do I make sure this information that the community needs to know gets to the community and the people that need to use it? So me and two other ladies did 387 foreclosure cases ourselves just in the year 2008, running around the city the whole time. And that faith-based nonprofit is kind of why we were doing that. So what I became very passionate about was making sure that people understand this information well enough to be able to make really good informed decisions for them and their families. People's quality of life depends on the information they have or the information they do not have. And I just have a problem with the fact that there are things that are, for lack of a better description, that are being gatekept and people don't get the information. So I became very passionate about, as I tell everybody, I share all the secrets that anybody's ever taught me in my entire career. And now 32 years in, that is exactly what I have been doing. And so Purpose Consulting is literally named for what I was purposed to do. I can just take really, really complicated information and explain it in English. And I love to come up with a strategy. So people that may be working with a financial advisor, for example, or working with somebody else in the industry, you have all this stuff, but do you know how it works? And is it working for you? And is it working for what you and your family goals are going to be and why? So out of that community concern became other community concerns like, why do we have all these things going on that people aren't participating in? Or why are people complaining? How does the city work? What happens when something needs to be changed? And so I just took it upon myself to start learning that, and pretty much, for lack of a better description, dragging everybody else with me to learn it as well. And figuring out, where does my skill set best fit in this city and how can I serve? Which is then how I ended up applying for the EDC because of my regulatory risk and compliance background and my financial background. Our EDC was a perfect fit for me to serve and give back. So I often tell people this, that your gifts and talents are not for you, they're for other people. You're supposed to use them to serve others. And so that is what I literally spend all of my time doing in my personal business as a small business owner in Frisco, and then serving the city and the citizens of Frisco. And I like to make sure that the community is involved in all of that.
Wow, that's awesome. It couldn't be a much better why than that. I love that. And thank you for your work in the EDC. I'm a member of Leadership Frisco, class 28. We just did the EDC day last month. So learned a ton about that organization. And, thank you for all that you do on that front, because that is, all the headlines that Frisco gets, the EDC is somehow involved in. So thank you. That's awesome. Love that background. Love that why. All right, let's shift it over to Amy real quick. Amy, same question to you. You mentioned you've gone through a divorce yourself. So obviously you've got that history. Tell us how, and tell the audience, what drove you to get into the divorce coaching business and ultimately write a book, right? That's awesome. Tell us about your why and what drives you.
Sure. So, as I've said, I'm a former single mom, 3 daughters, 23 and 12 and a half. And I'm also a former educator. And so I chose to take what myself and my daughters had been through, and then what I'd seen some of my students and their parents go through, and use it to truly develop resources that can help both children and adults, men and women, even with and without children. When I went through my first divorce many, many years ago, I didn't even know how to have that conversation. And I was loaned a book actually by my local church and read it to my daughters at the time. I had 2, 4.5, and 7.5. And it was horrible. I mean, no child's going to embrace that day because there's so many unknowns. But to make matters worse, I wasn't able to soften the blow with the resource I had used. And so many years later, as I was embarking on another divorce, my daughters, who had been 4.5 and 7.5, one of them was about to enter high school. The other one was about to exit high school. Still very much remembered the day I had told them about their dad and I. And second of all, very much remembered that book, and all with negative emotions. And so I just remembered thinking, if a day in a book had that much power over a child, I've got to get it right this time. And again, looked for a referral for another book. Long story short, didn't care for that book, threw it in the trash, never read it to my youngest, who was 5. And so I wrote what so many family law firms carry today, which is One Princess, Two Castles. From there, I created a journal for children and teens going through a split, because a lot of the times children and teens, they're just not fully developed. They can't express their emotions. And then second of all, if they could, they won't, because they're bearing the burden of their parents' pain. So I created this journal where they draw out their feelings. From there, I created another book, One Camper, Two Cabins, that law firms are already carrying, and am now also a certified divorce coach and co-parenting coach. I help men and women with and without children to get unstuck off that story of divorce so they're better prepared for the business of divorce, and helping them to end one chapter with grace and begin the next chapter with confidence. And if they have children, do that all while co-parenting well, figuring out who they want to be and what kind of life they want to lead.
Wow, that's fantastic. And yeah, what a task to take on, right? Because divorce is such a huge thing and such an impactful thing on families and multiple lives. That's awesome. That good for you.
Yeah.
Debbie, I think you were going to ask a question.
Yeah. So Kimberly, I know we had reconnected at the Frisco Diversity Leadership Council at an event. And so I know that you work with them on their board of directors, and it's having a big impact locally. But can you share how that's influenced your approach to building trust within your own business? So how they kind of work together.
Yeah, so Frisco Diversity Leadership Council is interesting because it's really about bringing people together and really kind of teaching people that diversity is inclusion, not exclusion. It's a kind of a different concept. And so my role on that board allows me an opportunity to teach business owners on a regular, consistent basis, because we meet monthly and we get to teach them different topics, or we bring another topic to the business community because most of the people in there are business owners. And what it's done for my business is kept me, people trust me because they've seen me teaching to them, but what I'm teaching them is really about them. It's really about how do you network? Like Debbie, I always give instructions at the meeting.
Yep.
You come when you're networking, you need to leave with 3 to 5 business contacts that you're going to meet with, those kind of things. We talk about different principles about running a business. How's your business profitable or sustainable? And if it's not, it's a hobby. But what that has lended itself to as well is that people see me as somebody who studies those topics, is researching them and is bringing it to them. So now it creates a trust factor when they're talking to me about their businesses or their family and their business finances and what does that look like together. So I think Frisco Diversity Leadership Council has grown me in that space as a leader and on the board. But I think what it's also doing is growing and challenging the business owners that attend and the community that wants to work with these business owners to also level up. And if I could real quickly say this, one of the things I think that I teach most importantly there is that you don't have any competition because there's only one you. Like nobody's going to do you like you. Nobody's got the same why. Nobody's got the same passion. And once you start internalizing that and not really focusing externally, but internally, you will then accomplish whatever it is you're trying to get done. So I think that's really what I would share from that perspective in the community.
Awesome.
That's a great mindset. I've never heard that before.
Thank you.
Love that.
It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it.
Awesome. Well, with that, guys, I'm being told by Nathan that we need to go to commercial break. So thank you for keeping us on track, Nathan. We appreciate you keeping this train going forward. So with that, we're going to take our final commercial break. We're going to come out of that, and I'm going to ask you a question. What's the difference? And it'll be a somewhat surprise to you. So stay tuned for that. Take us away, Nathan.
At the Community Difference Business Development Alliance, powered by the Difference Media, LLC, our mission is to empower small business owners by transcending acceptable behaviors and outcomes into exceptional realms. We foster a culture of self-awareness, accountability, and proactive engagement, guiding individuals to recognize and overcome indifference towards transformative actions, habits, behaviors, and processes driving meaningful change. Through strategic networking, impactful content creation, and innovative top-of-mind strategies, we cultivate brand relevance and differentiation, enabling our partners and the Difference community to stand out in crowded markets. With a focus on building authentic connections, amplifying brand presence, and driving sustainable growth, we equip entrepreneurs with the tools and mindset to navigate the complexities of entrepreneurship with confidence, innovation, and resilience. Together, we aim to be the catalyst for difference makers, propelling them towards their highest potential and leaving a lasting impact on their businesses and communities. That's where our community podcasts come in. These podcasts lie directly at the intersection of innovative business development and community involvement, helping to bridge the gap between small business obscurity often seen in our communities. The community-based podcasts called the Community Difference Series are an integral part of integrating all facets of modern business development into a package of great content, positive impact branding, and top-of-mind presence, thus fulfilling the greater mission we set forth. When we set out to be difference makers, we can learn to make a difference and find the success and impact innately desired by all business owners and entrepreneurs. We are difference makers.
And now it's time for What's the Difference?
All right, welcome back. And this is our final segment. This is a relatively new one. We implemented about halfway through the year. And I basically am going to ask you guys a question. And it's going to be, what's the difference between A and B? And it's generally related to our business topic. So it's slightly a continuation of our business topic, but I love to get different perspectives on these questions. So the question I'm going to ask the group, and we're going to start with you, Amy, for the first answer. But the question is, what's the difference between creating a social media presence and creating a community?
Oh, that's a good one. Well, I think a presence to me is more just the constant posting. But when you do the other, you're really interacting with people. You're not just replying with a cold comment. It's very genuine. It's very interested, so that people, they want to engage with you, and there's that level of trust.
Okay, I like that perspective. That's a good one. Kimberly, what's your thought on that question?
Yeah, so I think your presence is just, you post your highlight reels, right? I'm here. You can see me. Look how great I am. Look how terrific I am. Look how great the things that I do in the community are, all these kind of things. I think your connectivity, though, is really the key to what you need to do. People need to know you, and you need to engage with them just outside of just the posting, just outside of the authentic self should show up. That's where you really kind of do the DMs and the meetings and the coffee meetings. It needs to go that extra step. So your presence is just, yeah, I'm here. But that extra step is, Amy, you and I need to meet for chai because I need to know more about you. Let's get together, what time schedule, and actually make that extra step to then build that connectivity and that relationship with that person so that you can keep working together.
Love it. Good perspective. Bethany, how about you? What's your thought on this question?
Well, I was going to say, isn't that the value that we have in social media these days? Is, this is something that people didn't have a long time ago, even 15 years ago, to be able to connect with strangers online. Like, we are literally connecting with people we don't know, and then we're meeting them and we're getting to know them, and we are finding that we have commonalities. We are finding that, hey, if I can't help you in this situation, then I know someone who can. And Debbie's amazing at that, like meeting people that she doesn't know, but being able to provide that value to their life free of charge. Like, isn't that super cool that we have the ability to use social media in the sales cycle, whether it's for myself or it's for someone else to complete their sales cycle? I find value in that regardless of how it's happening. But I just think it's such a great thing that we have this day and time.
Love it.
Yeah.
Debbie, how about you?
Well, and along that line, this platform that we have with the community difference really has changed my thought process, of how I post, how I do everything. And it really has impacted, to Bethany's point, I have used it to get to meet more people, to have them on the show so that they can share their business, but also their impact on the community. And it's just in itself brought great relationships that have helped in my business in many different ways. But it also has helped in the community. I want to share real quick. When we were giving out the tickets for the Rough Riders, there was a mom, a grandma raising her 5 children, struggling, and she was so thankful that she could take these 5 children. Well, that was, way back in the summertime and stuff, but she reached out to me and is struggling for Christmas. And so I'm now trying to put it out into the community to help this mom or grandma to get toys and not just toys, they just need clothes for the community. So I would have never met this woman if I hadn't put that out there in that part. And so now I can give back to her. So it is just so important that we are being genuine out in the community. And to what we've been talking about, that's when that sales cycle is going to work, because people are going to like and trust you because they know that you really do care about them and it's not just the bottom dollar.
Yeah, great example. And you stole my thunder, because I was going to use the example of the grandmother with the 5 grandchildren that she was trying to support as a perfect example of exactly this, right? And the reason it's fresh in my mind, because I've seen it go. I think you originally floated it to the group that we meet with on Tuesdays in person.
Yeah.
And then I think you put it into maybe the Frisco Community Difference group.
Yeah.
And then it spread to the Rockwall group, the Plano group, the Wiley group, and it all in a matter of an hour, maybe.
Yeah.
That message got across to all these different communities. And you don't have that community if you just have a presence. Like, that's the difference, in my opinion, of, yes, people are out there doing things on social media. They may have a presence. They may be a quote unquote influencer, but do they really have a community? Can they really get action out of it? And to me, that's the answer to the question, is a community creates action. The difference in this question, the presence doesn't necessarily create the ability to create action. So that's my answer to the question. I will now read you the official Webster's Dictionary version of the answer to the question. And I think you guys have kind of hit on all of these points. But so again, the question is, what's the difference between creating a social media presence and creating a community? So the answer is the social media presence revolves around self-promotion and content distribution. A community fosters engagement, collaboration, and mutual growth, giving people a reason to return and participate actively. And I like that actively add there, because I think action and activity is what you get out of a community, not necessarily a presence. So with that, guys, I love that, because we get all the different perspectives on those questions. So great answers. I think we hit on all the different points and even expounded a little bit on the Webster's Dictionary version. So with that, though, guys, we are already almost an hour and 15 minutes, which means our show is over. Hard to believe this time flies. I always enjoy our time with my co-hosts and meeting our awesome, intriguing guests. So today was no exception. And what I want to do is circle back around to our guests, let them remind the audience who they are, what they do. And I'm going to ask you a quick question. So Kimberly, let's start with you. Please just remind the audience who you are, what you do.
Yes, so I'm Kimberly Evans. I am the CEO and president of Purpose Consulting. We are a financial services and business consulting firm where we do personalized strategies and help you problem solve for your future.
Awesome. Thank you again for being on today. What was your key takeaway from being on the show today?
How much fun being on the show today was. I enjoyed the conversation. It was a lot of fun. And I love the different perspectives, because it makes me feel really good when I realize that, or I get reminded rather, that our community is all moving together. Like, there are a lot of us out here that really genuinely want to help one another, because we're all meant to be used, just not misused. And I think being in an environment like this, that's what you get to see.
Awesome.
Love it. Good answer. Very good. Very good. Amy, same thing to you. Please remind the audience who you are, what you do.
Sure. Amy Tyson. I'm a certified divorce coach, co-parenting coach, author, and speaker, helping men, women, and children to find happiness in the midst of their heartache. I coach in person and virtually. You can go to my website, happinessintheheartache.com, to order books, journals, or book coaching sessions. And you can find me on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram, The Texas Divorce Coach.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your insights today. Same question to you. What's your key takeaway from the show today?
Well, my key takeaway is that, all of you are very relationship based in your businesses. And I really admire that about you. And I like to surround myself with individuals that are like that. So I think that is truly what our world needs. And it can make such a huge difference.
Awesome. Well, welcome to the Community Difference Frisco. Thank you for being on today.
Thank you.
All right, real quick, we've got 2 minutes, so that means you have time, both Bethany and Debbie, to weigh in on your key takeaways. Everybody knows what you do since you share it, but what was your key takeaway from the show today? Bethany, you're up.
So my key takeaway today is we have some amazing, strong women in the community of Frisco that are doing awesome things to help not only families be successful through divorce, but successful in their financial planning and taking on the reins of wanting to run a business. It's a huge endeavor to run a business. And I think Kimberly offers a lot of valuable insight in being able to do that for women and to empower women, as well as Amy is empowering women as well who find themselves going through a divorce and might have taken a backseat role. And then need to find themselves getting in the driver's seat of what their new life is going to look like. So I'm so thankful that you women are a part of this group today, and just such valuable insight that you shared.
Love it. Well said, Bethany. And Debbie, I do want your key takeaway, but unfortunately we are out of time. So
mine's so short. Hey, this is my first year of being on the show. I'm so excited.
Awesome. Well, love it. And love having you guys as co-hosts. Love having you guys as your ladies as guests today too. Thank you so much for being on today. We will be back same time, 2:30 next Thursday. Same business topic. Look forward to hearing more on it. But your insights were awesome today, ladies. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching today's show.
The Community Difference Frisco is made possible by Brian Poduska with Real Property Management Focus, Paul Fisher with Certainty Home Lending, Bethany Rowan with the Rowan Realty Group. Tracy Churchman with Best Buddies. Jacqueline Kreider with PBJ Mortgage. Debbie Watson with Team Watson Redeemers. Ethan Donovan with the Donovan Creative Agency. Meena Singh, college counselor and prep coach. And by Lauren Gill with My Live, Love, Travel. The Community Difference Frisco. Together, we can make the difference.